Welcome back! My name is Baller Scuba. This is Video Games Over Time. We are still in 1985. Today, we're going to talk about Microsoft Windows. The story of Microsoft Windows takes us back to Microsoft. We have briefly talked about Microsoft several times before, but it is worth revisiting. Microsoft was founded on April 4th, 1975 by Bill Gates and Paul Allen. Originally, Microsoft was founded to develop and sell BASIC interpreters for the Altair 8800. Microsoft would continue to create BASIC interpreters, among other creations, throughout the rest of the 70s. In 1980, Microsoft was able to secure a contract with IBM to generate a new operating system for the upcoming IBM personal computer. Microsoft then purchased 86DOS from Seattle Computer Products, which was used for IBM, and renamed 86DOS IBM PC-DOS. Microsoft would retain the rights to DOS, which would be referred to as MS-DOS. Based on the success of DOS, Microsoft would continue to grow. Seen as the most influential company in the microcomputer software industry in America by 1985. This expansion would also be seen in Japan, when Microsoft collaborated with several other companies to create the MSX home computer system in 1983, which itself had a version of DOS, known as MSX-DOS. Microsoft would also release the Microsoft Mouse in 1983. Microsoft was interested in creating a graphical user interface, or GUI, for their operating systems. In 1983, Bill Gates recruited Scott A. McGregor to lead a development team to create a GUI for Microsoft. McGregor had previously worked on the GUI for the Xerox PARC computers. Microsoft began teasing the interface in September 1983, showing a window manager to the press. This was followed by a full environment that was shown at the Fall Comdex in November 1983. At the time, Microsoft described the software as a device driver for MS-DOS 2.0. They would encourage other companies to program for this environment, making it easy for these third parties to program for Windows without the need for Unix or a Microsoft user interface in their applications. Microsoft was able to get support from 23 different computer manufacturers, as well as software companies, by the end of 1983 as a result, though IBM was notably absent from announcements regarding Windows. Scott McGregor and Bill Gates would expand the team working on the project to more than 30 developers. Originally, Windows was scheduled to be released in April 1984, but it had to be delayed. Gates would assure the press at the time in interviews that Microsoft was committed to Windows. In January 1985, Scott McGregor would leave Microsoft. McGregor has stated in later years that Microsoft basically announced the product before it had been designed. He was replaced by Steve Ballmer, who had been hired by Microsoft back in 1980. Ballmer would be able to lead the team to finish the product. Microsoft Windows is a graphical user interface, designed on top of MS-DOS. The program allows users to use graphical programs through the MS-DOS Executive File Manager using either a keyboard or a mouse. Microsoft would include several softwares with Windows, including Calculator, Paintbrush, Notepad, Write, Terminal, and Clock. In terms of video games, Microsoft originally intended games known as Puzzle and Chess to be included with Windows, but these were replaced by Reversi. Microsoft released Microsoft Windows 1.01 on November 20th, 1985 for $99, over $280 in 2024. That is a brief backstory to Microsoft Windows. With that told, it's time to get into Microsoft Windows for ourselves. And here we are in Microsoft Windows, as you can see, version 1.01, copyright 1985 by, no surprises, Microsoft. But this is what it looks like when you open up the original Windows. This is something that we're going to spend a little bit of time in, but we're not going to spend too much time in it. I'm sure a lot of people are really kind of familiar with graphical interfaces. This is the kind of most important one, so that's why we're going to spend a little time in it. It's not the first one, as we have talked about before. Both Apple and Xerox came up with graphical user interfaces before this. Xerox has had one for a while. But this is the one that probably is the most influential, so this is what we're going to kind of delve in a little bit. Plus, it has a game in it. That's the main reason that we're here, to be honest. But this is what it looks like. It basically just kind of gives you a file list. That's kind of how you start. You can open up this text file here. I think it's mostly just a junk text file. Yeah, this is the contents of abc.txt. And you can kind of type in whatever information you want. There's a little bit of a delay, but I'm not sure if that's due to the original computer or just kind of the way that I'm doing this one, because it's a little convoluted the way I have to make this work. But ultimately, it's text. You can take your files and you can go through these menus. You can create a new file, open another one, save it as something else. You can do all this edit. Yes, there is cut, copy, paste, but you might notice the shortcuts for these are odd. Cut is delete, copy is F2, and paste is insert. How often have you hit the insert button? But there you go. You can select all, or you can put in the time and date. Let's put in, what are you saying it is? All right, fair enough. You boot up on January 1st, 1980. That is interesting. And I can't select and... Nope, I have to backspace all the way through. Just a few little quirks here and there that you can do it. And then you can do word wrap. Word wrap works pretty much the same way today. Let's just type in nonsense until I get all the way to the end. And then I can do word wrap, and then it should kind of condense everything onto the same thing. So there you go. You can also search. You can find something if you have a huge file. You can search for things there. All right, that's pretty much the Notepad. I don't really want to talk about Notepad all that much, but there you go. You might notice that the original Windows bears a lot of similarities to kind of pictures that we have shown of the Apple operating system. They're very similar when they start, and they kind of differentiate themselves later. We'll get into that more later, but we can open up the calculator. It's a very basic calculator. Really, all you can do is add, subtract, multiply, divide, square root, percentages, and that's about it. You can use the memory. Like they gave you memory to start. I've never been a fan of using the memory all that much, but then again, I have more advanced tools than this original calculator. So let's say I wanted to do pi 2, 6. How far will they let me go? 5. All right, we stop there. And that's rounded properly anyway. And then we wanted to say that you multiply that by 2. Will you let me like type things in? Yep. All right, sweet. But enter does not work. Then I have to hit the equals at the end. All right, there's 2 pi. And then we can divide by pi again. Fancy stuff. And it should be 2 exactly. It is. Hooray! It didn't do any rounding. We can do the square root of 2. We can do 5%. 5% of 2 is 0.1. So that's how that one works. I had to think about that one. It worked a little bit differently. And then, of course, we can use the clear and then the memory clear. And then let's add 5 to the memory. Let's see if I remember how to use memory right. Like I said, I don't really use it too often. And then if I do memory recall, it'll bring the 5 back. And then memory minus, no? Memory recall? Still 5. I thought the memory minus would subtract it, but I think that's later versions. As I said, I don't mess around with the memory too much. I just, have more advanced tools so I don't have to do that. You can copy paste numbers, which is always nice. If you have a number that you didn't want to try to remember at all, like 0.24, let's call it that, and we can copy that, clear it, and paste it right in. I don't know why you did it that way, but that's something that you can do. You can still do that in a lot of calculator applications these days, but that's how the original one works. Always nice to get that. We can open up the calendar, see what's on my schedule for the next couple weeks. I know a lot of people want to know what I'm doing. Looks like I'm free, which is good because I wasn't born yet, so. And then you can kind of type stuff in here and save it. You can put an alarm in. You can look at it by month. That's probably better. Let's look at the whole month. Wow, a whole lot of nothing going on in my life. But you can add stuff to the calendar and save the calendar so that you can try to remember that. But hopefully they'll just kind of let you know as you go. There's a card file. I think we can do stuff with that. Yeah, these are kind of index cards. And then, auto dial. That's a thing. I couldn't help but notice that one. That's not a thing anymore. Just, kind of looking through it and seeing what we can do. So, we'll put, who's Ronald Reagan, right? He's running. Why are we all in caps now? Why can't I not delete? Oh, I got you. I type too fast for it sometimes. He's at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Not in 1980. Yeah, once again, if I hit the shift and go too fast, it holds shift down for me. That's in Washington, D.C., and I don't know the zip code. But there you go. We can save that, and then we can have Ronald Reagan as a contact from now on. I don't think he's going to answer if I reach out to him at this point, though. So no, we're good. Let's see, what else do we got here? We got the clipboard. That's your copy-paste function. We can change the clock. Let's see if it'll let us manipulate this at all. No, it won't do that. We can try to resize and stuff, but yeah, I haven't gotten that to work. You can zoom in on the clock, though. How many of us can read that? Most of us can read that. That's fine. You got the control panel. You got a few fonts. These are going to be Courier, Helvetica. What's a do this file? What are you telling me to do? Oh, it's an actual to-do list, a notepad for things that I need to do with a priority on there. Can you tab in the original? No. So somebody put spacebar, the whole thing's up there. So what are the biggest priorities? Take car in for the tune-up, schedule a vacation. I really need that vacation, apparently. Buy present for Martha. Who's a Martha in 1980? I mean, I guess Martha Stewart would be around. I'm not sure she's popular. I don't know the career of Martha Stewart very well. Martha Washington. She's dead, though, so it's not a high priority for me anymore. Helvetica, modern. You can open up DOS. We've seen DOS before. Straight up open up Notepad. Let's open up the Paint here. And we'll see what we can do. You're going to give me the canvas? There we go. All right, so we can draw. There we go. And kind of manipulate. And now we're... I can only do it once. There we go. And then click and drag. And then... Nope, apparently I lost that one. And then I can kind of drag it out and stuff like that. Sure. Cool. Try to put it in like 3D space here. I can add paint to the background. We've seen this before. Now it's artistic. It's black background. And then We can change... You gonna let me change the color? I don't think I can... Yeah, there's not too much I can do. I cannot right-click it. But we can change the font and the size, the alignment and all that kind of stuff. It's your basic paint. There's not a lot going on, but we can erase if we want. Can I make that, once again, like make it smaller? Yeah, it's very basic from what I can tell. I can kind of move stuff around if I want. All right, that's basically it. I'm not an artist. I am not good at paint. But there, you got your basic paint, and you can try to save that. I don't really know what you would be doing at this point in paint, but, you know, I don't know what people's jobs are at this point. We can open up a practice document. This is in Write. This is not Notepad, and that's how you have all this other stuff that you can do in here. Apparently, this is a realtor thing. This is what you need to do to prepare a home for sale. I tried to use the scroll. I should know better. Let's go. Like, these are the things that you need to do. Once again, I'm messing up, but this will work just fine. You can search. You can try to insert. You can basically change your font around here. You can put things a little bit higher, things a bit lower, change the font, make it bigger, make it smaller, look through all this other stuff, change kind of how the paragraphs work and all that. Put a header and a footer. You can put the ruler on because there is a page layout because you can actually print. You would have to actually add the printer, and then you can repaginate to try to organize things. It's a very basic writing program. There you go. Nothing too special there. There's another document that I don't care about. Times New Roman font, script font. This is the print spooler, terminal. That's kind of necessary for Windows. More fonts. I'm not sure what those ones are. TMSRA and TMSRB. Then we have some Windows files that you can't do anything with, and then there's your generic writing program. All right, so let's actually play the game that comes with Windows. We'll be playing kind of games with Windows as we keep going. All right. I can get a hint or I can pass. We're going to do it on beginner because I am not good at this game. It's Reversi. Growing up, I called it Othello. That's what I grew up with. There's also a version called Go, which is much more famous, but here we go. The goal originally is to kind of get into the corners. They're not playing ball with me too much, but hopefully I can get in eventually. Like, it always feels like I'm dominating until I'm not. You know what I mean? I don't want to go there. That's a bad spot to go. Here, here, and here, you don't want to put anything there. So basically the idea is you surround your opponents. I'm playing as, let's call it red, and they're playing as, let's call it blue. And if I put something here, I will flip these two over because I've surrounded them with my little tile things here. And that's basically how you play. The goal is to go for the corners because those can't be flipped once you're there. Like I said, it always feels like I'm winning until I'm not. There, that'll flip those two. Now I have to think about things. We'll go there. That's a safe spot. Okay, that's fine. I can go here. And once again, like, I'm trying to avoid these three spots. Those are bad spots because then they'll open up the corner for them. Here. Like I said, it feels like you're winning and then boom, they just completely destroy you. And this is beginner, right? Like, it gets harder than this. Avoiding the corners. I'm not good at it. I grew up playing it, but I never got the hang of it. Yeah, it looks like I'm doing really badly, and I fully understand that, but we will get to the point where, like I said, wow, it looks really bad for me. We'll get to the point I think we'll be doing okay. There's not a lot of room for me to go around. They're also avoiding the corners. Oh no, I have to give him a corner. I have to. I've been avoiding it for so long. Okay, if I go there, he can't do anything with that yet, and then I can snag the corner. And then I can grab that, and he can't do anything there, but then I can grab that corner. And that. And that corner. And then I can grab this, and he can't do anything. And then I can grab this. And I win by the end. There you go. Like I said, it really is about those corners, and it feels like you're winning and you're losing, and then it just completely reverses itself. All right. Let's do a new game, and we'll do a master level. We'll just skip right ahead to me losing. We'll start again, too. So once again, we're avoiding the end. Wow, you really have to think about it when you're a master, don't you? There. Go for that. Eventually, I'll turn it over. Nope. Okay. Then I can go there. All right, whoever's got the most at the end. It's a fairly straightforward game. I have no hope of winning this one, I think. But like I said, it's all about the corners. That's the only thing that I learned playing this. It's just about those corners. I can go there, and that'll start setting me up for corners. But yeah, the more expertise they have, the longer it takes for them to make a move. I'll get you, though. I'll make it through. Figure out a move. I know. Like I said, I'm no expert at this by any means. So me up against a master probably isn't going to work out well. I feel like I barely beat the beginner, so. We good? No? What, does it get more complicated for you to figure out as we go forward? You need to be done by now. Like, don't make me start over because you just take too long. That's your move? That was your move. Once again, like, he's opening up. He's trying to get me to go there. I'm not going to take it. I'll go here instead. Now they're not really giving me a count anywhere, but I'm up like 9-6. So hooray, I'm winning by 3. But once again, until the last one is put down, you don't really know what's going on. And there's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. And then by 8, so there's 64, and it starts with 4. So we each get 30 turns, basically. Right, I'm trying to lure him over here. He doesn't have an open spot for that right now, but eventually, you know, as long as I avoid these 3, then we'll be fine for at least a little bit of time. But yeah, this is Reversey. I was hoping that the game would would make this go a little bit faster for me. Can I speed this up? Is that an option? Yeah, all right. Oh, max speed is there. So hopefully that makes it go faster. Hopefully that, okay. That helped a little bit. So now we're making the computer faster. This is not realistic for what would have happened at the time, but we got a little bit of time constraints here. I can't go there. I wanted to go there. I mean, I see that it doesn't work, but still what I wanted to do. There. Like, it's not necessarily about how many I'm getting at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to win in the middle of the game. I'm just trying to set up spots for me. For me to put down later. And once again, the mid game, that's where I start falling apart because I'm not willing to go where they want me to go. I need to get on that side eventually. Let's put one down. Here. There. Okay, but I get in there for just a little bit. Okay. Once again, I'm not good at this, and I feel like this is where it's really going to show that I'm just not good. And like, if I go there, he easily goes there. If I go here, I can't go there. But I can go here. I don't know if there's a way for me to counter that right now. Like I said, I'm going to lose because I don't pre-plan out enough. Like, I want to get on these edges, but he found a way to get me out of those every time. So if I go here, easily there, that's my only real spot that's available. And none of these three would work. I have to kind of go somewhere else here. If I go there, he gets the corner. And then I go there, and then he goes there, and then I don't have access to that one. Yep, I'm just going to lose here. That's the end of that. I can go here, and then he grabs that. There, I can't go. Here, I can go, and then he gets that, and then he gets that, and there, and can't get the corner. So yeah, I lost by 36. No surprises there. So that's Reversi. Like I said, not good at it. I was able to beat beginner, which I didn't think I'd be able to do. Final thing, I kind of want to look at the control panel if they'll let me. Nope, they're not even going to let me look at the control panel. So yeah, we can just end the session. We can add new directory. We can format the disk, which I don't want to do. You can do short or long. There's kind of long form. Once again, hit the scroll. Did not mean to. Let's make sure that that's lined up again. But there you go. All the files that way. And then that's basically it. So you can look at just the programs, and that'll help you out a little bit there. You can do the short form again. I don't think there's anything on these that is worth looking at. These would normally be your floppy disks, so not something that we're necessarily interested in. But that is essentially Windows, right? And a little bit of Reversi and how terrible I am at that. But that is Microsoft Windows Explored. And with it explored, it's time to talk about how it holds up today. Sure. Using the original Microsoft Windows today, it does not hold up well. I wouldn't necessarily say I didn't have fun. I had a little fun playing Reversi, but that could have been done 100 other ways. It's nice for them to include it, but ultimately it really does not age well. Windows, a graphical user interface kind of in general, it's all about usability. And this one is not as usable as things that came after it, right? We need to start somewhere, but everything is just kind of so basic and a little bit tedious, and it requires a little bit more time and effort to get things done. So ultimately, it doesn't really hold up all that well. There's not really a lot for me to say about it. There's a reason that this is version 1.01, and not a lot of people are using that these days, if anyone. I'm not sure anybody's using that version of Windows anymore. So ultimately, it's an important stepping stone in kind of functionality of computers. It's going to allow for graphical games to be played on computers more easily, and therefore it's important for us to look at, but ultimately don't seek this out. Don't even really mess with Microsoft Windows version 1. There are much better user interfaces for you to use, even if you're playing older games that would have been played on this interface. There's other ways to do it that will be better for you. And that's my modern take on Microsoft Windows version 1. Ignore it. When Windows was released, it was considered a failure. Though it sold 500,000 copies through April 1987, this was far short of the expectations for the market that Microsoft expected for Windows. Critics at the time were not particularly happy with Windows. Many critics felt that the system had potential, but that the GUI operating system from Apple was far superior and faster. Critics were also not happy with how little software was available for the system, how high the system requirements for Windows were, and how slow the system became when running multiple programs. Despite the lack of success of Windows 1.01, Windows would see other versions for it released over the years. We will keep an eye on these as we continue. As for Microsoft as a whole, they would continue to create software that would have an impact on the history of video games. We will hear from Microsoft again. As for Bill Gates and Steve Ballmer, they would continue to work at Microsoft, and we will hear from them again as we continue as well. As for Scott McGregor, he would continue to work in the computer industry, and although successful in the field, nothing he would work on or lead would impact the world of video games directly, so we will not hear from Scott McGregor again. That will do it for the story of Microsoft Windows for now. My name is Baller Scuba. This has been Video Games Over Time. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in our next video when we get romantic.